All right, here we go. I'm talking about solo overnight in the woods. And I'm thinking we do part 1 of building the largest tarp tent on YouTube. Let's get to it. All right, here we are, back in the woods, 90 plus degrees Fahrenheit with 90% humidity, overcast skies, rain is in the forecast. When, I don't know, because it could say it's going to rain at noon and it waits till 10 p.m. It's just all kinds of finicky like that out here. Now, with that in mind, we talked last week about moving on from the bug out series, and we're going to do that. First video, opened the gate, came out running, 90 plus K views, outstanding. Last 2 videos, 30K, and we're fighting for 30K. So we're moving on. We're going to shelve that series and hopefully bring it out in 6 months to a year and try again. You know, there's a lot of good information, a lot of things that people weren't talking about. I was going to roll the dice and do it anyways, like firearms, things like that. But if the views aren't there and the videos aren't being actively searched, then I'm not wasting your time or mine. We're going to move on. So today, I want to revisit something I did probably 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I went ahead and did a 20 by 20 tarp and created a tarp tent. To my knowledge, that was the largest one on YouTube at that point. Today, we're going to break that record. I got a 30 by 30, and we're going to attempt to set up a 30 by 30 tarp tent group shelter in the woods. Before we get too far down the trail, the Etsy store is open, and once again, the Etsy store is open. We got 100 Corporals Corner hybrid skillets dropping right now. That link is in my video description box. Grab them while you can. They'll last anywhere from 30 minutes to 2 hours, and you're SOL till next week. Once again, we got 100 Corporals Corner hybrid skillets in my Etsy store right now. That link is in my video description box. Now, we mentioned there's going to be a part 1 and a part 2, and here's why. It's solely based on 2 reasons. One is the obvious. The size of this tarp, trying to find an area, manipulate it, keep moving it around until it fits just perfectly in the area that I have. Then trying to stake this thing out and prop it up. Just that alone with one person is going to suck and be a ridiculous nightmare and be very time consuming. If you have multiple people, you probably put this thing up in probably about 20 minutes. But with one person, something this size is going to be a nightmare disaster. But we're going to get through it. Second reason is because if it's not well received, we're moving on. In the future of my channel, we're going to start doing these different series or different types of videos. If they're not received, we're moving on because I'm not wasting any more of your time or mine. It's too late in the day, been on here 15 years, and I'm too old to be wasting time. So we want to do what works, what you guys want to see, and we're going to make it happen. So on that note, let's go ahead and find an area, clean it out, get all the debris, rocks, weeds out of the way, and then try to unroll this damn thing and see exactly what we're going to have to go through just to stake it out. So things like this, I don't have a lawnmower, but they should pull right out. Yeah, like that. We can just break these things down and get them out of the ground. Again, this is a part 1. Worst case, we can come through here and just remove all this stuff later on. But, you know, all the major rocks and sticks, and we want to make sure there's no creepy crawlies inside here where the tent's going to actually lay down at, because this will be the inside of my actual tarp tent. Yeah, this thing's going to be huge. Yeah, that was my fear. The thing's like double wrapped. So it's like once you unfold this, this is only the halfway point. Yeah. There's no way that's 30 feet. Looks like 15. So it's probably folded this way and then perpendicular as well. Yep. There's the split right there. Drag this all the way to the tree and then swing that area around. So there's one grommet right there. So we can split this thing up and either flop it over the top or try and drag it this way. Let's just open it. You see, then we have the shiny side or shinier side. So technically that should be the inside. So let's grab it, pull it that way. So over and under. So this right here is going to be a logistical nightmare. All those extra grommets and trying to figure out the staking pattern to actually stake this into the proper configuration. Once I go through and figure it out, we'll come back and I'll film it so you guys get an idea of where to put this in case you decide to try one out. But this is only a 30 by 30. My intent was to do a 40 by 40. First off, it wouldn't fit in this area. But second, it probably would be in a part 3 and part 4 because next week my dumb ass would probably still be sitting over here trying to stake it out. So this here would be the front. Let's walk to the back and stake out the 4th grommet. So the 4th grommet from that corner and the 4th grommet from that corner. We'll stake that out and then work our way back to the front. There's the first one. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4 is hidden right here. We'll stake that out and then go to our opposite corner and do the exact same thing. These type of stakes right here will fit right inside that grommet hole. Just gonna stab it in the ground temporarily. We'll come back here and adjust it. So here's the 4th grommet from this side. I'm gonna pull this tight and we'll put that stake right there. We'll come back later and actually pound it down in the ground. This right here is gonna be the front of the shelter. It's gonna be a large door right here, or an opening. So we counted out the 4th grommet on the back side. I want to do the exact same thing in the front. We have the 4th grommet right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the corner and slide it over to where that grommet matches this grommet right here. And at the same time, we'll match up with the 4th grommet in the back. And then we're going to stake the corner, not this grommet, the corner, right underneath the 4th grommet. So the problem is this tarp is so big that I can't get it in the actual frame of the camera. So all we're going to do is we're going to take this and we're going to work it down to where that 4th grommet is. And that should be right here. Once we have this, we're going to place it approximately where this one would be at, but only stake that corner down and slide it underneath. Here's that 4th grommet. I'll place that where it should be. I'm going to hold this in my hand, stake the bottom grommet right in line with that 4th grommet. That's all we did was just drag it over there and stake it down. So now with the back and the front staked out, we got to prop this thing up. And this is where I told you there's going to be a logistical nightmare. Trying to find a pole long enough, and I'm assuming 15 foot. That's a halfway point, at least a 15-foot pole, at least. Hopefully it's too long and we can cut it down. I don't want to go with anything shorter because then I have to go back and try to find another one. So we'll start with 15 feet and hope for the best. But getting that pole in there propped up, then going around the entire tent or tarp and staking it out in the configuration of an actual, like a bell-shaped tent, that's going to be the hard part. So on that note, let's go find a pole. We have a dead tulip poplar, and this thing has got to be probably 18 feet. We'll walk it off and cut it if we need to, but I'm really hoping this thing here will work. So I counted this pole off, and we're about 18 feet in length. And I'm willing to bet that's too long, but again, I'd rather try it 2 or 3 times and continually cut it down until we arrive at the correct length versus having a short one and have to go back and forth cutting trees down. On this end right here, that's going to be in contact with our tarp as we prop it up. You want to place some type of cloth on there. That way you're not going to risk puncturing that tarp. I mean, granted, that's a 7 mil tarp, but why risk it? So we'll put something like that on there and then go ahead and prop it up. Shamog, bandana, old t-shirt, pair of socks, it's all good. Take that bandana off there. Here's an actual pair of socks. All you gotta do is open it up and find out what the second sock is. There it is, and then just place it over the top. And you got the exact same thing right there. So the problem we're having now is the tarp is so big that it's almost impossible to use one pole to prop it up. So I have one pole right here, and it's a good 75% of what it should be. So I'm going to grab a larger pole and hoist it up next to it and finish pushing this thing all the way to the top as tall as it should be. Then I can remove this one here and use the larger one, manipulate it around where it should be at the center of this tent tarp configuration. So I think if we push up on this one and slam that one up, should be in business. But again, with one person, this is a nightmare, and I'm willing to bet the camera gets knocked over in the process. All right, just like I said, had to prop one up, slide the other one in. So we can move this over a bit and get it centered. So here's the main problem with this tarp, is it's so big. It doesn't look heavy, but it actually is. You get inside there, it's hard to try to manipulate that thing around, and that large pole, I just couldn't get the tarp up off the ground. Using that shorter one, I could go in and up and then slide the other one up underneath it and then discard this one. So you're by yourself, use two poles. If you're with somebody, it'd probably be a lot easier to have somebody hold that main pole while you lift the tarp up from the outside, pull it away, and you should be able to slide that thing right up in there. So now I want to go ahead and pull the front out, and then we'll start staking this out and we'll tuck two of the corners back. So now what I want to do here is I want to make this thing look like an actual tarp. So I'm going to count the fourth grommet over here. We went 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. And that makes 4. I'm going to pull this thing out and stake it down. Then go to the opposite side and do the exact same thing and actually make it resemble an actual tent. And we're going to pull this thing out. Our sidewall. We can come back and adjust this later. Just want to get it there where it needs to be at. Be careful with this. What you don't want is you don't want to destroy the grommets. And see how we can readjust the front as we go. So usually when you do this, you want to pick front to back or back to front. We started back there, so we're going to go this way and adjust. So pulling these sidewalls out always makes it larger on the inside, but to be honest, you got a 30 by 30 tarp, so how much larger do you need this for 1, 2, 3, or even 5 people? I mean, now imagine a 40 by 40. That door would probably be another 2 foot, 3 foot up that way, another probably 2 foot, 3 foot this way. Just be insane. And last but not least, we have the back side here. So all we're going to do is we're going to tuck this under and then go inside and pull it tight. There we go. Do the exact same thing on that opposite side. Now in here, we take those corners that we tucked under. And you got a place that you can actually throw your gear on there if you wanted to. Put some more tarps on the ground, something to sleep on. But that excess material can actually double as just, you know, gear storage if you wanted to, or firewood, whatever you wanted to do. And to be honest, that side right there is probably large enough you could actually sleep on it. So the size of this flap, you can actually put a foam pad down here or air mattress and actually sleep right on this if you wanted to. And you're far enough back here to where you're not going to worry about getting wet. You could throw all my gear over there. I mean, hell, you could be out here for days like this. They make 20 mil thickness. They make canvas tarps this big. So, I mean, you could actually do something like this, stake it out with real long tent stakes, and have 2 or 3 people in here, like I said. You could have all your gear in here, food, put a generator outside, hang a light bulb on that pole, and just be hanging out in here. Turn this into a damn party tent if you wanted to. Downside is, it's so humid right now, especially with this wet grass that's in here. This is a nightmare, and it would suck to sleep in here. It probably wouldn't cool down until about 3 o'clock in the morning, and then by then, any lights in here, you have mosquitoes all crazy inside here. So maybe, you know, some type of small fire pit with just coals in it to keep the smoke billowing up and out towards the front there. That way the smoke can vent. Might work, but, you know, late fall, I want to say early winter time, or even during the winter, something like this, really thick canvas, this would be badass. Now, the last thing I want to do is I want to get this grommet right here, and I want to pull this one tight to that stake, do the same thing on that side, and actually give it that cone shape in the front where that door was, and then we can pull the front piece out. This right here, and I'm going to place a small loop at the end of a line through that, and then just simply lock it down where it can't go anywhere. And we'll just pull it tight. I'm going to pull this tight. We're going to walk up, pull a loop through it, and then just place it over top of that right there. It's not going to go anywhere or slip. And that's what we're talking about right there. So that worked out exactly as planned. So I know for a fact that a 30 by 30 with the width of that door, I can get a 3rd gen 4Runner inside here. Now here's the downside. You have a couple of choices here. This pole is more towards the front, as it should be. The longer the pole, the taller your tent or your tent tarp is going to be. The lower it is, the wider it's going to be. Meaning the door is going to be wider as well. So I can push this more towards the back, and the back end will be higher than the front. So you can play around with this and see what works for you, but you know the width, which is about 5.5 to 6 foot wide for a 3rd gen 4Runner, it fits through that door. Now I don't want to go any further than this because then the back door is going to hit this and not open. But again, if you shorten the pole down and run it more towards the back, you could probably get this vehicle 3/4 of the way inside here if you wanted to. And you could actually sleep inside the vehicle and have a block for the door. That way rainwater is not going to get inside here, animals aren't going to get inside here, things like that. So there's a lot of options with something like this, and you basically built your own tent tarp that attaches to a vehicle, so it's kind of cool. Again, downside, there is zero, and I mean zero, airflow in here, and it's heating up fast. Probably a good 110 degrees in here. So something like this for like fall time, you know, early winter, will work out perfect. But yeah, I'm happy with this. And I'm going to say it again. It's most likely the largest tarp tent on YouTube. And I'm going to show this because someone's going to say it. With a vehicle blocking it, you can't get in or out. Yeah, you can. All you got to do is open this up because it still stretches. And there's a door right there, and I can walk in and out. So there you go, a 30 by 30 tarp tent in the woods, and to my knowledge, it is the largest on YouTube. Now, here's my challenge. I want somebody to go out there and do a 40 by 40. Make a YouTube video. I want to see the struggle. I want to see how you're going to prop that up. I'm willing to bet if that's about 15 to 18 foot in length, you're probably going to need like a 20-foot pole. It's going to be crazy. You know, back in the day when I was a kid and you go see a circus, like the day before, you know, the circus would come into town, actually used elephants and stuff to actually prop the tents up, and then now it's like animal harm or cruelty or some damn thing, but you know, but it is what it is. But it's kind of cool to watch that. It actually like hold the post and actually help out. It was kind of cool, you know, but here there's no elephants. It's manpower, you know. But yeah, my challenge is issued. I want somebody to do a 40 by 40 or larger. Tag me in it so I can check it out. Be kind of cool. Back a vehicle inside there. That'd be badass. You got a semi truck, do like a 50 or by 50 or 60 by 60 and back a semi truck inside there. That would rock, dude. Tell you what, that'd be cool as shit. But yeah, so challenge issued. Who's going to accept it? Now, on to the next topic. I talked about this in my last 3 videos. Survival Mastery Online. Go to my video description box, click on Survival Mastery Online. We're offering a summer rate, $5 a month. Lock that in right now for the rest of the year. $5 a month. Enjoy all the videos that are on there, and videos are dropping every 3 weeks. And in about 2.5 to 3 weeks, we got something special dropping. And those that have always wondered about anything that has to do with first aid or, you know, EMT type work, you're going to want to check this out. Again, Survival Mastery Online, that link is in my video description box. Click on it, lock in that rate and save. Use this code, Sean2025. Once again, Sean2025. Get that discount, and I'll see you there. All right, so before we get out of here, let's go ahead and reiterate this. I say this every so often, and it's missed. Videos drop every single Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time for the past 5 years. I've not missed a Sunday in 5 years. I've gone on vacations, and I've filmed ahead of time. 10 a.m. Eastern Time on Sundays, my YouTube videos will drop. At the same time, the Etsy store opens. If you watch 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days late and then come at me and get mad because there's no skillets, or you tried again 10 times, you've been trying for 10 months. The problem with that is I've been selling skillets for 10 months, and I've been saying for 10 months, 10 a.m. Eastern. So that means you're not watching the videos. So watch the videos. The videos tell you exactly when the Etsy store opens, and just put in your head, the minute that's stated, within 2 to 3 hours, they're going to be gone. So if you want a skillet, if you want anything that I make or sell, 10 a.m. Eastern on my YouTube channel, it will give you the link to the Etsy store, which is always in my video description box. Click on it, and you got a chance. Now, on that note, let's get out of here. With that, all the gear in my videos can be found in 2 places. 1, my Amazon affiliate page, and 2, my Etsy store. Both links are found inside my video description box. Now, please do me that favor. Hit that like and subscribe button, and then ring that notification bell. Once you ring that bell, please select all notifications. And as always, thank you for your comments, views, and support. Thanks for watching. Get out in the field, have some fun. I'm going to catch you next time.